back to the channel. We are in the wood shop making another Knox Hollow wand. We just got back from Norwescon. It was a great year, and I actually filmed these wands right before I left because I actually got my hands on some ebony wood, and I've been wanting to mess with this for quite some time. And I got them just a few days before the show, so I jumped in the wood shop and I had time to make 3 wands for the show, but I did not have time to edit the video. So now that I'm back, we're back in the shop trying. We've got some special orders and stuff to do, but I went ahead and edited up this video, and there will be 3 wands done on this one. All of them are made from ebony, and this is most people think of ebony as that black wood, and that's Gaboon ebony, which is really expensive. And I have had a difficult time finding some that will work for wands. Just at my local supplier, they're usually they're not long enough, or if they are long enough, then they're not the right dimensions to be able to cut it down to make enough wands. It would be extremely expensive to make 1 wand. But this is Madagascar ebony. I've heard also called royal ebony. Um, I'm sure there's several different varieties. I know the Gaboon ebony typically is thought of as black, and it can have different some gray streaks through it as well. It just kind of depends on the wood itself. And Madagascar ebony typically is black to brown, and then has some lighter kind of golden streaks in it. Both of them are ebony wood. The hardness of them is very close. So I was really, especially since I couldn't get a hold of the really black Gaboon ebony, I was really interested in still working with this and kind of see how this feels. And honestly, it was really nice. It was very dense, but it was really nice to turn with. It was a great wood. It reacted really well. So this first wand, I just what I did with these all the wands, I turned down the blade of the wand to get it about the right size. We got it chucked up, and what I've done to speed this up so we can get all 3 wands in here is I showed kind of how that process works on the first part. And then for the rest of the videos, we're going to pick up just at carving the handle and the grip and pommel itself, because I think that's where the most interesting part of it is, kind of happens. So this first one, getting the shape and stuff in, we're going to go into some sanding here shortly. And not having worked with ebony before, as you know, when I do work with the wands, I do like to have some color variations in there. So, the ways that I work with that typically is ebonizer or burning. Sometimes I'll use dye or something along like those lines. But for this ebony, um, it wasn't, since it wasn't quite black, I did want to see if I could get some darker tones to it. So obviously I did edit out a bunch of sanding and stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the wire to burn in some lines on this. And honestly, it took the burn lines beautifully. It darkened up nicely. It was nice and smooth. When I use this wire, you notice, if you haven't noticed on all of the videos I do leave that tail attached until I get all that done, so that it's good and supported for that burn. So once I have that done, then I can kind of get the burn lines cleaned out. We'll finish up with some basic sanding, and then we'll take the tail off. But as you can see with that little piece, that was a scrap piece that I had that I just tested the ebonizing fluid to see if it would get dark, and it did okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off the little sprue here on the end, and then we'll do the final shaping, and then I'm gonna try the ebonizing fluid on it. It's really odd to think of using ebonizing fluid on ebony wood. But because again, this isn't the Gaboon ebony, I thought, okay, well, we'll see how that works if we can get parts of it to be really black and still keep the grain. And so I did try that, and from the scrap wood, it did look like it was going to darken pretty well, and as here you can see it darkening up pretty well. Um, the only thing was it didn't seem to penetrate the wood very deeply, and I am assuming that's just because of how dense it is. So coming back in and doing the final sanding on it, even though these are just the really fine grits of sandpaper, you can see that it does have some color, and I mean it's slightly darker on those places where I use that. Um, and then I'll switch over to the oil. This is what the oil finish looks like. So once I get it oiled up, though, there really just isn't a ton of color differentiation between the parts that I ebonize and the parts of the wood that are just finished. So I mean, it's still very pretty wood, and this does polish up to just an amazing shine as well. And you'll see those at the end of the video. You'll see the finished products on those. So I'm going to go ahead and we just jumped right into doing the grip on the second wand, and I'll do the shaping on this as usual. This is again it's a little bit different shape. So if you guys are liking these videos, do make sure that you give me a thumbs up. That really helps. Also, if you want to see some more of them, you can always subscribe down on the little bell icon there, and that'll get you a notification when I get some new videos up. I do have another show coming up at the beginning of May. We're going to do the local Renaissance Fair, which is usually the wands are very popular. So hopefully, when we get back, we'll be making a whole bunch of wands from that show. We'll see how those go this year. And then I'll be doing MizCon over in Missoula at the end of May. So those are the main spring shows I've got set up. We'll see how those go. Hopefully, we'll sell a whole bunch of wands so that we can make a bunch more for you and do some more videos. Doing again, I ended up bunch of sanding on this, so we're just doing the sanding and getting that set up. And then again, we're going to burn in with the wire here. And to get that color on this one, I am going to try option number 2, which is a friction burn. So I've just got my scrap piece that I use for friction burning is just a scrap piece of walnut, and as you can see, it does like the heat very well. It does seem to darken up really nicely. There's some woods that kind of turn more brown, or they get kind of like chunky, like the film builds up weirdly in different places. But this one just it did really nice. Of course, for the pommel itself right here, in order to do that friction burn, I was trying to be really careful, so I wanted to have it supported. And I did try to do. I'll have to sand it up a little bit here. Um, Once I get that shape done, that I did try to do a little bit of a friction burn, but with it being unsupported there, you have to hold it on the other side, and it gets a little bit warm. So we'll go to the torch on this, which worked pretty well. The torch as well as the friction burn. So, and I'll use the torch on another part of this in a minute. So, but first we're going to go ahead and kind of get part of this sanded up, and then I'm going to bring that blackened area part way up the blade of the wand, and it's just going to kind of fade into the wood, and you'll see it in the finished product. So it did burn really well. The only thing with burning is this does have a little bit more grain than I think what Gaboon ebony, like if you put a lacquer finish on it, it's so black it almost looks like plastic. So this does have a teeny bit more grain to it, and that grain will kind of show a little. But as you can see with the oil finish on this looks really nice. The black areas, they really pop, and I really like that. So I was really pretty happy with that final look on that. And then of course, as usual, when I do this, I try to get yeah, at least 3 in stock for a show, um, and then one of those is gonna be a special edition. So, this is gonna be the special edition wand, and I'm gonna go ahead and do some wood burning on this with the, Pyrography, tool, and we're gonna do a spiral on the handle. So I'm just going to do a little bit more of a basic shape on the grip itself, and then this tulip design here. As you can see, even just, if you've got a good sharp tool and you're getting a good clean cut, you can see the shine that you get on this wood. It's very dense, but it's just got such a smooth and even texture and grain to it that it polishes just so wonderfully. And I was able to take this all the way up to a 2,500 grit sandpaper, easily, and it just has that almost plastic feel to it. It gets, so polished and shiny. But the good thing about just using that oil and wax finish is it's still just that bare wood feel to it, and look. So really preserves that natural look to it. So we've got that basic shape, put in. Did the wire friction burn, and you can kind of see some of that grain here. And I left a little bit more of this part. This is my indexing wheel. I designed this up on the 3D printer, and it just clamps onto um, the headstock. And those holes that you see, there's 3 different rings on there, and there's a different number of holes on each one. And I'm using the inner ring, which is 5 holes, because what I'd like to do on this, I'm gonna do 5 spirals on the handle, but you probably saw that I was kind of bringing those lines down past the pommel too, and I'll have to come back in and redo them. I just wanted some placeholders, because I want to facet the parts of this wand as well. And for the spiral, on the rest is another piece I made. Those lines are all a 1/4 inch apart. And between the indexing wheel doing the horizontal lines and the 1/4 inch spacings on that little rest tool that I made, that allows me to basically draw a grid on that circle. So when I do diagonal lines, then you get the spirals. So those of you who were wondering about, how to do spirals, that is how I do it. And once I have those drawn in with a pencil, we just connected the dots diagonally, and now we're just gonna take the wood burning tool. And because of the density of this wood, it did take a little bit longer to do, but again, it burned beautifully. It looks like wood burning, is gonna be the go-to for this type of wood if I wanna darken it up, and do any design work. I can't wait to get to, I need to get some more of this if I can get lucky enough to get some, and, maybe do the carving tool on it as well. So we'll part off the little sprue on the back there, and we're gonna go ahead and get our sanding and stuff done on this. And this one, like I said, I want to facet it, and you'll see I'm gonna go back in and put those 5 lines on the pommel because I'm gonna facet the pommel. I'm gonna make the part of the blade 5-sided as well. So this is one of those few that it's got flat faces on it, and you can see in the finish here. So the pommel has, the five flat faces, and then also the blade. So I was really happy with the shape and feel of this one. And as you can see, we'll do the final pictures up. I'll show them in sequence, just close ups of the handle, and then I'll show the 3 together. But once these are oiled and waxed, they're just really nice. So this was the first one that we did. Not a whole lot of color change in it. Again, burning the wood, definitely, you saw more color change. And then this final one here, you can still see that again, this does have a little more grain than the Gaboon. Um, but then here's the final shot of them all together. And yeah, I gotta say, Ebony probably is ranking in my top 5 woods to work with. Um, I do still have these left right now, so I think I have some left. Probably going to take them to this next show because I don't have time to get any more done. I won't have time to get them up on Etsy, but at least you can kind of see, the process. I gave you some more details that I haven't done in a while, and then you got to see some final pictures and stuff. So I hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, don't forget that thumbs up and subscribe, and we'll try to get some more videos done for you as soon as we can. Thanks for watching.